Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, is this thing on? Hello? Welcome to the Paranormal Portal. It's Saturday night. We are live and absolutely unrehearsed, and we're here for your listening pleasure. So hopefully that all works out for all of us. But we're going to try. We're going to do our best, and thank you all for joining us. We kind of ran it right to the wire, getting everything prepped here, but we made it. We are currently connected and underway here. It looks like everything is working. It's what?
Check to make sure you got the right mics.
I do.
It looks good to me there.
It should be good. What the hell's going on?
Oh, he said just kidding. You jerk.
Well, that's... Oh, my God. Time him out. Time that... Oh, my God. Yeah, wait till your next show, Farm. I'm telling you what. I'm going to bump you off the server. Oh, that'll be a good time. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are underway here. And got to pick your battles, buddy. That's what I'm saying. And I hope you guys are doing great. Thank you so much for being here with us. It is Saturday night. And as such, I am not alone. I have my good friend and co-host and fellow portalier, Mr. Don Longbeard. That's you, Don.
Oh.
Don, you're on.
My cue!
And action.
I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. DeVille.
Yeah, I'll bet you are.
So,
welcome to the show.
What's happening?
Nothing for me. Just business as usual. Had a great night last night.
Yeah?
With Ms. Deborah Varner.
Yeah.
Mrs. Deborah Varner.
She did some overtime on that, didn't you?
We did an hour. We did 3 full hours of show. It was a marathon, but Deb rolled through it like a pro. It was a great time, and thank you again to all the callers of last night's show. If you called and got a reading, I hope that was wonderful for you. It was wonderful for us, and we appreciate your participation a bunch. But now we're on Saturday night, Don, and we got our normally scheduled program here. And as such, the phone lines are working, which is good. It's kind of going in a whole pattern here where they're actually working, Don.
Wow.
I know, right?
Let's
let's knock on some wood here. Play Wipeout on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right, so we are all wiped out as it usually is, but that's not Don's normal state. But I hope you guys are doing great. The phone lines are open, 720-923-0500. Again, 720-923-0500. You know, Farm, just.
What do you do now?
No, I'm just still thinking about that. The one thing you don't joke about on the portal is our technical problems. That's the one unfunniest thing.
It's hilarious.
That is the unfunniest
and
thing.
And the best part is it's happened enough that he got us with it.
Oh, my God. Oh, he got me good, too. I'm like, ah. But, you know, here's the thing. How many times has that been the case? Like, hundreds?
Yes.
Hundreds of times. So it's like.
So it's not like we don't believe it.
So it's like code red.
Fish on.
So, yeah. There's just got to be a rule about this.
What the hell?
What can I joke about? But that's no longer on the approved joking list here. So anyway, we got some great mail. It was awesome.
Oh,
our wonderful friend Rico from Georgia sent us a whole bucket of love, and he sent us a card. And then I'm gonna hold these up.
Okay, you hold those up.
Yep. And he sent us a card. He sent us 2 bottles of his homemade barreled cream.
Oh yeah, one for him, one for me.
Yeah, they both made it. They're beautiful. It was amazing. He sent us, what are they called? Drunken Cherries or something?
Drunken Cherries, yeah.
Yeah, they're like cherries that are
100-proof bourbon.
Yeah, they're bathed in 100-proof bourbon.
Bathed? They're not bathed.
I think that's what he said, right?
They're soaked.
They are drowned in them.
There's bourbon in the bottle.
And then this beautiful array. I don't know why there's one missing here. Oh, maybe it's because I opened it.
Gosh.
But there's this beautiful array of petit fours.
Petit fours.
Petit fours. Okay, I don't know these words. It's candy, though. Right?
Yes. Oh, yeah, they're little cakes.
Little cakes. Petit fours. And what a beautiful display. This is just so much love. It was absolutely awesome. Just amazing. I've been really good. I only ate one of these, and I got this like on Thursday or something. So I'm really doing well because it has been a trial. It has been a trial, and I made it though. I made it, and brilliant, very cool. And they're here, and so I don't know, Don. I think I should try a Petit Four.
Oh, Jesus.
Or shall I say, try another?
Another.
Yeah, I'm gonna try this one.
Okay,
Looks
you
like a
try that
little,
one.
looks like a Alice in Wonderland mushroom.
Oh, gosh. In that case, give it back. Oh, I want it now. An Alice in Wonderland mushroom. That sounds like a good one.
Those are good. Mm-hmm.
That one, that one.
My chair's starting to sink on me. I don't think I got more butt than what I had, but
Oh, jeez.
I might be asking a lot of this chair.
Okay, so let's see.
I'm gonna be like a chin. I'm gonna be like a chin by about halfway through the show. Just a chin and a head. Sorry.
I'm gonna have the R.
The R. Oh, you're gonna break up the
R.
words. Yeah, good.
Yeah?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, they're all got to get it. Got to add them sooner or later. But thank you so much, Rico. That was awesome. They're delicious. I haven't tried the barreled cream yet, but I did last year. Don and I drank the surviving bottle of the voyage from last year, or 2 years ago.
Ding dong. That was so good.
I know, right? But they're like, it's not like ding dong quality. That's the
No,
nice thing.
it's better quality.
It's like actual ingredients. It's not. It didn't come out of a beaker. So, but that was really cool. It's always wonderful, and there's so much more to announce, as we go forward. But I know there's more things on the way too, and I appreciate that. We appreciate all your tidings, the cards that we've received, all the love and kindness and amazing family that we have here on the portal. So thank you all for that. Rico, you're the bomb, brother. I still want to.
Here's one for you, Cha Cha.
I know. Was that a good one too?
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right. I have to stop at one because my chair is progressively sinking as it is.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. But anyway, let's see. What the hell else was I going to do here? I was going to mention something else, but I've forgotten now. So I guess without further ado, let's go to the news. Live from the Paranormal Portal news desk. I'm Brent Thomas as well, and this is the Paranormal Portal news. I should probably say Paranormal Portal news, shouldn't I? Instead of just paranormal news, but it's usually paranormal news as well.
It should actually just probably be the Portal news.
The Portal news.
The Portal news.
I like how you just went for the precise, concise description there. That was pretty good.
Right.
This is where the hell? I thought I already had this open, but it doesn't. Is it? No, let me look. No, I thought I did have it open, but I'm gonna have to open it again. No, I'm sure I had it open. Hold on. There, no, it was right there. Okay, this is an article coming from a website called ET Database, folks. And that's not funny, is it?
No, it's Cha Cha said something in chat, and I can't respond to it because it's improper.
Oh, I like that. Farm PPN, Paranormal News Network. That's good. That's good. So anyway, what are you doing? Now you're making me have to look.
I'm trying to keep my mouth shut. So she says, Cha Cha says, I close my mouth and walk away in disgust.
Well, there you go. This is an article that I brought up. Are we good?
Yeah, the 10,000 things that went through my head, just inappropriate.
Hey.
Totally inappropriate.
Okay, way to roll it to the gutter before you're done.
I'm trying not to.
All right, so this is an article from ET Database. It's etdatabase.com, and the article is huge UFO disc seen exiting the mouth of Mexico volcano, April 20th of 2020. This is an article by Scott Waring, and we hear his name quite a bit. Apparently, he does a lot of internet-based UFO sleuthing, but this is let me get a copy of this for the TFR audience because it is visual. Are you muted?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. but I'm going to put it up here for you guys in TFR so you can check it out too. But I got to say, this is something that I remember seeing about, I don't know, 8 years ago. There was all this footage of UFOs being seen going into or coming out of volcano calderas.
Right.
I mean, you've seen those, right, Don?
Yeah.
Well, this is another one. And so, and right at the top of the page, of course, is the graphic. It's a GIF or a GIF. I guess it's GIF because it's not graphics. It's graphics. So it's a GIF of the what appears to be a light leaving the caldera, but it doesn't seem to be like shooting off as if it were projected from the caldera itself. But very interesting. Now, there's been people that speculate that maybe the UFOs are able to use that geothermal energy to create energy of their own, and I don't know. I mean, if they're advanced enough, I guess that's sure a possibility. What a cool idea. But let me read the article from Mr. Waring, and he says, this is April 20th, 2020, Popocatépetl, Mexico. I just brutalized that. So, sorry, folks. Volcano live cam. Here we see a catch from the live volcano cam. The person caught a large glowing UFO exiting the mouth of the volcano and moving up into space. The ancient volcano is home to an alien base. Oh, wow, that's a hell of a statement. 5 to 6 kilometers below the surface. That is the size of an entire city. UFOs are frequently seen on live cameras exiting and entering the volcano. This is just further proof that the alien base does exist and that aliens living there have very large spacecraft. The mouth of the volcano is about 600 meters across, and that makes this UFO about 50 meters across, and this is 100% proof. Wow, there's some bold statements being made.
Wow, yeah.
100% proof, ladies and gentlemen, apparently, according to Scott Waring, that aliens use this volcano to enter a base deep below. It's possible the Mexican government has an agreement with the aliens to allow them continual use of this area and possible getting some tech in exchange, which Mexico trades to the U.S. Air Force for money.
Oh, Jesus.
I think this will be the last article I cover from him. Not that I'm not impressed by the footage. I am. I just don't know that anybody can look at a light leaving a volcano and come up with that much narrative. Do I believe there could be alien bases here? Sure. But to me, I would never make a statement. This is 100% proof that the alien base is there and that these extraterrestrials are living there. And it's a huge city. I mean, there's so many things that he's jumping to conclusions about. And I'm not trying to disparage the guy. Maybe he has a whole lot of narrative and reason for jumping to those conclusions, but it's not apparent in this article. I'm not familiar with his work other than I've heard him mentioned in several other stories on UFOs in the past, especially in terms of using Google Earth and finding where he believes UFO activity has happened or is happening. But these statements, I think, to me, on the outside looking in, seem incredibly irresponsible because nobody can make those assumptions based on the fact that lights are seen either entering or leaving a volcano.
They could make the assumption, they just can't
But
take it as 100% proof,
right,
and expect people not to.
Yeah, exactly. And then on top of that, he built the whole narrative of a Mexican agreement for tech and allowing them to stay. And
that's
then,
the job of the TTBS.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and that they also have then the Mexican government trades it to the U.S. Air Force. I mean, where did that come from? That's just out of the ethers. So, again, I'm not trying to disparage the guy. I'm not familiar with his work. Perhaps he has a mountain of evidence to come to these conclusions. But being on the outside looking in and only familiar with one article of his from his webpage, I don't know. I mean, it's a great piece of footage, and I think it's very strong in and of itself. But I don't think just from a piece of footage, at least, again, not knowing anything about the guy, that you could make all of those conclusions and a whole and complete narrative about it. But the fact is that UFOs are witnessed going in and out of volcanoes well, they are UFOs in the traditional sense in that nobody knows what the hell they are, but they have been seen diving into volcanoes and coming out of them. Are they alien craft? Are they something else? I don't know, but could be transdimensional thing. I don't know, but it's an interesting article all the same, at least on the face of it being some anomalous light coming out of a volcano. Everything after that, I don't know. I just think you got to have a pretty strong basis of proof, foundation of proof to be jumping to those conclusions. Just my 2 cents, but it's my show, and that's how we roll here, right, Don?
Yeah, so I was just looking up sun mining.
Sun mining.
Sun
Okay.
mining, because you mentioned that, maybe they're using it for, and the theory is hydrogen and nitrogen, helium and hydrogen and helium,
Okay.
could be mined from places like that, specifically the sun, stars, I should say, because of the gravity wells and the production of the plasma that shoots out from those. And the idea is that you can mine plasma, or mine the plasma for helium and hydrogen,
Oh, okay.
and you can use those, of course, for laser as an idea, laser beams, because you need that the hydrogen for the lasers.
Okay.
So things like that. So that could be. Why is my picture moving around?
I was moving it because I was
Oh,
trying to
what the
reposition it.
hell?
I was trying to reposition it on the fly here, but
maybe that's part of what they're doing, or maybe they're harvesting a little bit more to get, enough fuel to leave the atmosphere, so just ideas on why they would be mining things like that.
yeah, and I've seen, of course, those footage of those huge, like many times the size of Earth looking ship things that may be ships, but they're anomalies anyway, that seem to be coming up to the sun and like sinking tentacles into it, and then for a while, and then pulling their tentacles out and then going. And that's creepy.
Right.
That's incredibly creepy, but it's also incredibly exciting that those kind of things may be out there, and that may be common out in the cosmos. Who the hell knows what's going on out there?
Yep.
I mean, we shoot a few things out there like bottle rockets, and we think we understand everything.
Garbage,
Yeah, and I'm positive with as much that goes on here on Earth that we don't understand, how much more is going on out there. So
Yep.
it wouldn't surprise me at all if there's Earth, or many times Earth-size ships rocking around the cosmos, sucking stars as they go. I don't know if that sounded right, but you know what I mean.
Mining
stars, yeah.
Mining.
Nursing from stars, whatever you want to say. But it's interesting all the same. So that's our first article tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I like that. That footage was pretty compelling, but I don't like the places he jumped to on it. In fact, I was going to read another one of his articles, but I'm just going to skip right out of that because I don't know. I got to check out his site a little more before I use it on the show. I don't trust it. All right. No, I didn't want to read this, did I? No, it wasn't this one. Dang it. I pulled open the wrong article here. Hold on. Got to go back. There it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say, did you not want to read that? I was going to say what it was about, and then you said no.
Don, I was going to read it, but then I realized there wasn't a mushroom.
Oh, no. Oh.
I'm here all night, ladies and gentlemen. This stuff is free. You're getting this as a
Somebody
bonus.
Just gouge my eyes out.
Just cut it off before it bleeds.
There was a mushroom.
All right, and ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to our next article, which is coming from Animalien.com. Scientists claim to spot thousands of mushrooms on Mars.
Because there's not mushroom.
They had to go there because they couldn't grow here because there wasn't mushroom. I heard there are a bunch of fungi.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
Thank you. All right, so scientists claim to spot thousands of mushrooms on Mars. It says on the Mars. Excuse me.
On the Mars?
Mm-hmm. That's what the headline says. So,
Okay.
not sure what the Mars is. If we're talking about that planet near us, or if we're talking about something else. A study report published in the Journal Astrobiology and the Space Science has claimed to have discovered alien life on Mars. The study report states that mushroom-like objects can be seen oriented towards the sky. There are no abiogenic processes that can explain the mushroom morphology, size, colors, and orientation and growth of, and there are no terrestrial geological formations which resemble these mushroom lichen-shaped specimens. Read the study's abstract, which is published in ResearchGate. I don't know what that is, but there's a hyperlink to it. But it says, although the authors have not proven these are living organisms, the evidence supports the hypothesis that mushrooms, algae, lichens, fungi, and related organisms may have colonized the red planet and may be engaged in photosynthetic activity and oxygen production on Mars. Wow. Researchers believe the alleged living beings are showing typical behaviors of mushrooms that grow on Earth. Jim Green, the chief scientist at NASA, believes that alien life forms will be discovered by 2021.
Great.
Yeah, but I think they mean like mushrooms. I think where they're going with this is mushrooms, not greys. Not greys and reptilians and
Sounds
stuff.
like something out of Red Dwarf.
I'm going to put that...
People.
Yeah, I'm going to put that link in the TFR chat as well, guys, so that you can see it and come to your own conclusions. It looks like, I guess it could be. Wouldn't it be funny if we found out it was from the Mars rovers? There was just some little fungi spores on there.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking
Yeah,
when you said that.
something
But
we-
right now I'm looking at him going, oh, trouble with tribbles.
Tribbles, yeah, the Star Trek fuzzballs. Yeah,
Roger Mudd! Uh-oh.
it could be though, right? I mean, I don't know how well Mars is suited to propagate, mushrooms as we know them, but it could be because I mean there was that one Mars rover that landed there and then just went dead, and then they had to
Right.
send another one or something like that years later. But could this be what was pitch and ride along on the first one, and now it's spreading around? I don't know. Green is one of the key personalities behind the NASA mission that will start drilling on the Martian surface in 2020. I guess they must have started then. NASA's Mars 2020 rover will collect samples from Mars, and the testing will be completed by 2021, Green predicts. Bam says, I want to see an insectoid from a good, safe distance. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like on a trading card or something. That's about as close to him as I want to get. Green predicts that the testing of the samples will provide vital clues behind the existence of extraterrestrial life on the red planet. The discovery of alien life could be revolutionary, and it will open a new line of thinking, Green claims. The findings are not conclusive proof of alien life, but it can be considered as a stepping stone to future research. So I had not heard anything about this, about the fact that there may be mushroom fields on Mars. You know, I mean, what is it? Wasn't it just like last week they figured out there might be water there, and now there's like mushrooms growing up? This could be. What if this was our awareness of Mars? Now it's kind of terraforming itself with these fungi that are creating oxygen, and eventually will become an atmosphere, which then eventually we can go and just be there.
Then become fungus food.
Well, I think we'd have plenty to eat.
Fungus food.
Hope you like your portobellos. I'm just
Boy.
saying, chanterelles, portobellos, some psilocybin or psilocybin or whatever that name is. Could be all of them. Who knows? They could you imagine how much the street value of Martian
Mars
shrooms?
mushrooms on Earth? $1 million a quarter.
It'd be like $1 billion market. You can only get them from one place, NASA.
Yes.
All right, but interesting all the same, folks. I don't know. This is brand new to me. I was today old when I learned about this, so
me too.
I think it's pretty incredible. It's pretty incredible revelation. The other part of it is this the planet re-terraforming itself? Is this, were these spores,
Now that's an interesting idea. Maybe it's had its shelf life, its half life, and
Right.
now it's actually responding to
Right.
stimulus from outside.
Because now there is
Shall we
stimulus,
say-
yeah.
Shall we say panspermia?
Right?
And because that's what it would be, if it came off anything that we've sent there.
Right.
So, maybe it's time for it to start,
Start digging in, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Time for it to come to life. But that's going to wrap up our news, folks. So I hope you enjoyed those few articles and that discussion, that fine discussion we've had. And we'll be back with news on Wednesday. right, folks, and that brings us back to the normally scheduled program, but we are about to move to our break. We're like literally 30 seconds out, and I wanted to make sure to mention this while it's fresh in my mind, or kind of fresh. Don't forget the following the show tonight, following the Paranormal Portal on TFR, iHeart, TuneIn, and TalkStream Live. Paisley Wild will be coming up next with The Spaces Between. And she has a guest tonight, and they're going to be getting into all kinds of amazing discussions. So you'll definitely want to tune in for that. And she also broadcasts on her YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/The Spaces Between. So that'll be coming up. Do you remember what she said they were going to talk about?
The alignment.
The alignments. That's right, the planetary alignments. So, all right, folks, we're going to go to our break. Don't go away. We'll be back in just a couple minutes with more of the Paranormal Portal. We'll be right here waiting for you. gentlemen, welcome back. We came back just as we promised we would. If you're new to the show, you've never been in here before, and you see the breaks, you're like, what's going on? Why are they doing that? These guys just lazy or what? Well, no, not really. Those breaks are actually set up because as we are broadcasting on YouTube, we are also broadcasting on TFRlive.com. Simulcasting. Yeah, thank you. Broadcasting. Yep, you're right. It's simulcasting on Truth Frequency Radio, TFRlive.com. We are also simulcasting on iHeartRadio on the Truth Frequency channel, as well as TuneIn and TalkStream Live as well. So on those other networks, they have to take half-hour breaks. So that's why we do it. And rather than give you on YouTube a bunch of commercials to listen to, I put together those video segments with some music to hopefully make that a little more enjoyable. But to stay in sync, we do have to take the breaks just to lay it out there so you guys understand. But if you are new to the show, please, on YouTube, please subscribe and stick around. Ring the bell. Then you can know when we're doing more of this stuff. But we have a bunch of you in here. On TFR, we've got Bam and Boy Solomon over there. But who's over in YouTube, brother?
Who's over in YouTube? Well, let me tell you who all's in YouTube.
Who all's?
We've got Annie M. We've got Ben. Hey, Ben, how are you? Brown Dwarf. There's our very own Deb Varner. Hi, Deb. Ethan Consquatch. Let's see. Oh, goodness. Brown Dwarf. I already said that. Elaine Clifford's here. Ethan's here. Johnny Diggs. Jessica. Hi, Jess. Jess just popped in.
Hey, Jess. Hey, everybody.
Kirsten, Kai, Lindsay Bay. Lewis is here. Mary Bond. Nessie Monster. Olin. Paul Holland. That's always a nice name to see. Rafaela. Okay. That works. Ruthie Castro's here. Farm is here. Titan's here. Tinker's here. Wonder Woman and YTFP Chris is here. There you go. Did I miss anybody?
I don't know. I think you probably did fine.
Did I miss anybody? Oh, Justin. Did I say Justin?
I don't think so.
I gotta shout out.
Say
Justin.
Jake.
Jake's here?
So much Jake.
Oh, he must have just popped
so much
in.
blue line just popped in.
There you go.
Edery Terry Maislin. Good to see you.
Oh, yeah, Terry. Terry.
Terry. Okay. I says Edery. I don't know. I'm just reading, man. I'm just trying to help.
Hush, Cha-Cha. Yes, I know. I skipped you on purpose.
Cha-Cha.
She threatened to punch me.
Oh. It's all right. It's usually just a throat punch.
All right. Yeah, it's just
a throat punch.
He's punching the throat. There you go. Love you, Cha-Cha.
What's that movie
when it's all
with what's her name? That funny lady. Where she was
Cha-Cha?
No, well, she's got a good sense of humor too. But I can't remember. Anyway, she steals the guy's identity and then he has to go find her and stuff. And it's always throat punching people. It's hilarious. Oh God. Anyway,
I have no idea.
I'm so terrible with names. That's why it sucks. I don't usually reference movies unless it's something I know by heart because I can't remember names. Those dang names, Don.
Somebody go around. So she stole some guy's identity and then goes around throat punching people.
It's just funny. I don't know. It cracks me up. She's like always throat punching people.
I have no idea.
Okay. I can't remember it. If any of you guys, if you know what the movie I'm talking, Melissa McCarthy. Thank you, Cha-Cha.
Oh.
What is the name of that movie though? I can't remember. Melissa McCarthy. Yeah.
That explains why I don't know it.
You don't like her?
She's.
Oh, see, I find her hilarious. I think she's hilarious. I really do. But did you know?
I used to thought Scooby Doo was hilarious too.
Of course you did. Like yeah, Scoob. Cottingley Ferry's photo goes on display. That's kind of a blast from the past, huh?
Yeah.
If you're not familiar with the Cottingley Ferries pictures, folks, they're coming out of England in when the hell were they? That was like the turn of the century kind of stuff, wasn't it? The turn of the 1900s, these young girls took their parents' camera
Turn
out.
of the century. Yeah, you got to clarify
which century? Turn of the 20th century. But yeah, these girls took their parents' camera out into the wild woodlands of England somewhere. I don't remember. I guess Cottingley, and they allegedly took photos of fairies, and they were world famous. Even Arthur Conan Doyle was a big fan of these pictures, thinking that these kids had really captured something. And there's controversy behind it because I think the deathbed confession was no, these were just paper dolls they cut out and placed in, in the bushes in front of them. And it's on the screen on YouTube. I'll put it over on TFR for BAM. Oh, jeez, I didn't want that. I did it wrong. I did it wrong, Don. I did it wrong. Let me just do this. I hope I didn't just screw it up. No, I got it. Okay. I actually pasted something where I was trying to copy it.
But it's probably good it didn't pop up too, huh?
Yeah. Well, no, it was just an article we've already done.
Oh, okay.
That I've already pasted. But so these photos were really famous. They really had people believing there were fairies being photographed out there in the woods. And granted, it's a hell of a fake for little kids to have managed, but they did. And but again, I think they were pretty well debunked when one of the girls on their deathbed said no, they were not real. They were I don't know, from a doll book or a catalog or something. They cut out these things and put wings on them and called it a day.
Paper
dolls, yeah,
paper
that
doll,
kind of thing.
Yeah,
yep.
Books were very popular back then.
So it says the oldest known surviving contact print of one of the original Cottingley Fairies photos is now on display. And the story of the Cottingley Fairies came from the unlikeliest of sources, two young cousins, Elsie Wright and Frances Griffith, from Cottingley, England. And the pair, who would often play near the stream at the bottom of Elsie's mother's garden, claimed that there were fairies living there. To prove it, Elsie one day borrowed her father's camera, and the girls spent 30 minutes taking pictures of them. The photographs, which were considered highly convincing at the time, went public in mid-1919 and quickly became famous across the country. Many believed the fairies to be real, including author and spiritualist Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, who included the photos in a magazine article he had written. The mystery of the Cottingley Fairies would go on to endure for over 60 years until finally, in 1983, the two cousins admitted that the photographs had been faked, using cutout illustrations from a book. Both, however, remained adamant that they had genuinely seen fairies at the bottom of the garden. Now, the very first image, developed in 1917 from the original Francis and the Fairy Ring negative, has gone up on display at the Museum of Weird in Austin, Texas. Museum of the Weird owner Steve Bush says that he acquired the historic photograph last year when he placed the winning bid at the April 11th, 2019 auction of original Cottingley Fairies artifacts, organized by Dominic Winter Auctioneers, the press release states. This particular contact print is also noteworthy for being reproduced in the May 1985 British Journal of Photography issue, where editor Geoffrey Crawley exposed the Cottingley Fairies affair as a hoax. Yeah, that's, it's clever kids. It's kind of interesting that they do claim that they did actually see them, and they never gave up on that. But they did admit these images were fake.
I wonder how much he paid for that.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's the first question on my. How much did you pay for those?
Right.
So.
I would be interested to know that too, but I don't know. Maybe that's not. Maybe it's a private sum, but very interesting all the same. So the Cottingley Fairies, I hadn't heard much about this for a long time, but it's unfortunate that it turned out to be a hoax. But then again, when I look at these pictures, I don't know. I guess it was a different type of people back then. But everything, you first look at it and go hoax, and then you have to debunk it towards being actual or not be able to debunk it.
That's not very much.
What?
It was sold for £50,000, so
that's about $60,000.
Yeah, 60. Yeah.
Huh. That's pretty good sum for just a reproduction of the negative. So they just reprinted from the original negative, right? Or is this the actual print?
No, that's the. Well, let me find. I've got the story pulled up. BBC News here.
Okay.
They've got a totally different picture here, and yeah, that looks. This one looks. This one here, it's a totally different picture.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Can you send me a link and I'll put it up as you read it?
Sure. Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah.
Copy.
We'll let Don explain some more of this to us.
Got some splaining to do.
Absolutely.
Oh, my computer sucks. It's old.
It's old, folks.
It's old.
Don's been pulling a lot of life out of that computer for a long time.
Yeah, I'm pulling a lot of life out of it. Okay, so there we go. There's that. Okay, it is sent.
Okay.
So, let's see. Cottingley Ferry photos sell for £50,000.
Wow. Okay, I'm pulling that up on
There it
screen,
is. Nice.
and I'll put it up here for our listeners. And there's another one of the photos there, ladies and gentlemen.
A series of the famous faked Cottingley Ferry photographs has sold for more than £50,000 at auction. The pictures were taken in 1917 by the 16-year-old Elsie Wright and her 9-year-old cousin Frances Griffith in the village of Cottingley near Bingley in Yorkshire. The hoax fooled many people, including Sherlock Holmes, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. The auctioneers estimated that the full 13 lots would fetch about £65,000. Chris Albury, auctioneer and photography specialist at Dominic Winter Auctioneers, said that some of the latest batch of photos had come from Catherine Lynch, the daughter of Francis Griffith. One of the most desirable pictures, Francis in the Fairy Ring, a print from the original negative, did not sell. Catherine Lynch says, "This is no problem. They will go back in the safe again. I'm rather surprised, I must confess." Two of the photographs were auctioned by Dominic Winter for more than £20,000, so just two of them. There you go. So the girls borrowed Elsie's father's camera and colored paper cutouts and hat pins to stage the scene near the stream at the end of Elsie's garden.
How
So
about
there
that?
you go. Yeah. So $50,000 for a lot of them.
That's a lot for just a print, and especially since it was a hoax, you know,
Well, it's one of the most famous hoaxes in.
of all time. Yeah.
Well, then you have Madame Curie and
Sure.
the whole ectoplasm thing, and
Yeah,
I don't
that's
know.
probably what
There
it
was a
been
lot
around
of
that same time.
spiritualist hoaxes back then. And that time frame. Remember we did the show when we were still in the other before we moved down into here, and we talked about spirit photography and things like
Oh,
that,
yeah,
and
yeah.
how those were a lot of those were faked, and we specifically talked about the Mary Todd and Abraham Lincoln photo. They still haven't been able to. They're convinced that it's faked, but there's no hard proof.
Sure.
And the person who took that was so good at what he did that they were never ever, even when they were standing there watching him go through the motions of taking the exposure and silver nitrating it and dark room whole thing, they could not prove that they were hoaxes.
Yeah.
But they found odd things on what are they called? The plates.
Oh.
On the plates after further examination.
Oh.
So,
okay.
there you go.
That's interesting. And Unknown in chat says, "What do people get out of hoaxing people, no matter what the subject?"
Fame.
I think sometimes it is. Sometimes it's just a fame. Sometimes it's the 5 minutes of,
Well, the 15
of
minute,
notoriety, or whatever it works out to be. Probably like 2 minutes now in the age of the internet.
Yeah,
but
what? Huh?
some people get a kick out of it
Yeah.
into just, pooping all over people's beliefs.
Right.
And that's really unfortunate. It's really sad because it's almost become a sport for some people to see if they can.
Sport. That's good.
If they can pull
You're
off
right.
a fake, and maybe let's say let's say computer viruses. Among the hacker groups and stuff, computer viruses are like, they're like you're having a football team, and you put them out there and you see how far your football team can go.
Oh yeah.
And when you bring down if you bring down a whole bunch of networks and banks and stuff, then that's like winning the Super Bowl for a virus writer. And so maybe it's the same thing with the hoaxes and stuff.
That's a good point too. But they're also, but on the reverse side of that, it's the people who want to validate or discredit, the I don't want to say is like Bigfoot. What's his name?
What, Bob Gimlin?
No, Bigfoot Tony.
Oh, Bigfoot Tony.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we know Bigfoot Tony goes out there and he looks at these pictures and he examines them, and he looks at them and he says, okay, this is my belief about this. This is my belief about that. It seems to be that there's a whole network of those people who are trying to either validate or discredit,
Yeah.
the what they feel is a hoax,
Right.
or what they want to validate as authentic. So, I mean, it goes both ways. You got people who want to create the hoaxes, and you want to talk, and then you've got people that want to, you know,
Discredit.
name them
Yeah.
as a hoax. So
Yep.
now that's not. I was just using Bigfoot Tony as an example of what I was trying to get to. So there you go. But
Yeah. Well, there is that. You're
Bigfoot
absolutely
Tony
right.
sounds like a cryptid mob boss.
You better be quiet before the boss hits.
Hey, the
hits
boss
you.
is coming. Shut
The
up.
boss is coming. Quiet, eh?
It's
Um,
BT.
There is that though. That's a good point. That there are those people
And they're
that
rabid.
yeah that will attack anything
Yes.
and try to discredit it and take any kind of any kind of credibility away from it. And sometimes the narratives they use or the methodologies they use can be just so far fetched.
Right.
And just for example, look at the UFO phenomenon. Then look
Right.
at the explanations that are thrown out there. Well, it could be because of this or like ball lightning.
Right.
Ball lightning is like it can be reproduced in labs. They can create a plasma ball and create basically a ball lightning, but they have no idea how it forms naturally. They have
Right.
there's so many things that we don't know. I mean, for a long time, nobody really knew if ball lightning existed. It was just an idea. But there's the point is it's not swamp Venus reflecting off a swamp gas or something
Right.
stupid like that, or everything's a weather balloon. And it's like the Roswell incident, for
Right.
example. We had Donald Raymond Schmidt. He goes, even if it was a weather balloon, they send out entire regiments of people to collect a weather balloon. And that was a brilliant point. It's like, that's very true. Why would they mobilize the entire Air Force base to go collect a weather balloon? Even if it was a Russian weather balloon, it's like it's a weather balloon. It might have spy stuff on it, but they had the hills crawling
Yeah.
with troops and people, and they were all about interrogating and all of that. So
Right.
once you start putting together the pieces of the actual the actual events, those narratives just don't hold up. It's like, well,
Right.
this doesn't make sense that they would mobilize this many troops,
Right.
these many resources to go collect a weather balloon.
Right.
And weather balloons don't leave mile-long, impacts across the landscape.
It gouges.
Yeah, gouges in the earth.
Gouges
Yeah, so there's
Yeah.
a lot of things that
that don't ring true. Yeah.
right, but that's a great example of the way that people will go, the lengths they will go
yeah.
to debunk this kind of
Well,
stuff.
and that's like I was seeing like 6 months ago. There were pictures of the blood pit from the Gimlin pictures.
Oh,
the,
God.
the Patterson Gimlin pictures
Oh,
and stuff.
God.
And you can look at it and you can look at it and go, you know what? That is just oversaturation. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
Turn down the contrast. Stop saturating it with so much red.
yeah. Well, there's certain individuals, and I'm not going to get into name calling, but they've made a career out of that one
Right. That yes.
15-second piece of film, and they've made a career out of coming up with all these bizarre
Oh,
narrations.
but these are pictures that were taken
Yeah.
before and after, and they were at the camp here, and they were doing this over there,
Yeah.
and they were sanctioned by the government to go kill these Bigfoot. And, like,
Yeah,
what?
it was a kill squad, is what it was. Oh my God, there's a baby squatches and
Kill
there's,
it!
yeah,
Kill
there's,
it!
there's bodies everywhere. It's like seconds
Yeah,
of film,
it's
and they've created this whole extreme narrative of what was going on in those seconds. And then you have Bob Hieronymus saying, "I was in the suit," and Thinker Thunker did a great breakdown on that, saying, "You don't have the right proportions to be in that suit. No human being does."
Yeah.
And-
Lou Ferrigno if he was 2 feet taller.
No, not because still you can't change.
Yeah.
You can't change
Yeah,
the
his
length.
arms,
Yeah,
yeah.
arm length and to hip to knees. I mean, there's certain parts of our bodies that
Mm-hmm. Right.
move, and you can't stretch. You can do arm extensions, but you can't stretch your elbow down from your shoulder. It's just not going to work. But anyway, lots of stuff like that, folks, and so. Even if you hear, yeah, no suit for Patty Squatch. Yeah, exactly, Ruthie. And then there's, Bill Munns, who was the creature designer for the Planet of the Apes, has gone on record many times and said, we didn't have that technology then. we couldn't create a fursuit like that. That's why the Planet of the Apes all had these vests and things on.
Right, yeah.
They couldn't do it seamlessly. They didn't have the type of fake fur that would work. So that, Roger Patterson being an out of work rodeo clown,
Yeah, not exactly.
all of a sudden he could pull off a Hollywood better.
Makeup effects and
Yeah.
oh my gosh.
Yeah, and then there's people. He took out a lot of a loan to do it. Well, you need about $4 or $5 million to have pulled it off
Back then, yeah.
Yeah, back then to get that made. So there's all kinds of holes in the debunkers.
And
so
there would be a
careful
lot
about
of
that.
people involved in that.
Right.
A lot of people.
And ladies and gentlemen, I would just say, and this isn't getting political, but just look at the news sphere right now.
Right.
It doesn't matter what comes out. There's a counter spin to it. There's whatever claim is being made or whatever is being pushed forward. There's a counter spin in 5 minutes, and it's just this information war. And this is not new. It's just more prevalent right now, given the intensity of what's going on in our worlds. But it's been the same for anybody that wants to shoot down a narrative. There's going to be plenty of people. They gather around and they attack it. It's a disinformation campaign, and it's the same for the paranormal, the cryptids, the UFOs. They want to keep this locked down for some reason, whatever that is. I don't pretend to know. I can't, I've heard lots of ideas, but anyway, I think that's important to note because,
and if you say, oh, well, it's, animation and blah, 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 go back, get online, go back and look at, how animation was done, animation plates in the 50s and 60s. They took cameras and faced them down through these different panes of glass.
Yeah.
And these glass panes were hand painted, and they would slide the panes in and out to create motion.
Yeah.
So, yeah, go look it up. Go look it up. It's incredible.
And Digger says, and they never produced the suit.
Yep.
And that's the smoking gun right there, folks. That for as far as the Patterson Gimlin film, where's the suit? Where is it? Everybody claims that they have they know there's a suit.
Nobody would have destroyed that thing. Nobody.
No, because it would have cost million at least to make it.
Oh yeah.
And that was Bill Munn's statement. It could have been done, but it would have cost. Maybe that wasn't Bill Munn's. Maybe that was other creature people, special effects people. Said maybe it could have been done, but it would have been like 7 figures to do it. So I'm sure an out of work rodeo clown couldn't have probably pulled that together.
Ruthie says the suit's attached to Patty's body. I'm thinking so.
That's true, and she wasn't done with it then. So
she wasn't quite done.
Yeah, but anyway, who knows? There's just always going to be those people, and be that as it may.
The naysayers and the people who want to be famous for hoaxing, and the people who want to be famous for disproving and cutting people down. And
see, I think that's the part that actually offends me the most. What offends me the most is when this stuff is going on, and the people that go out of their way, to take that away,
and they just keep going and going and going. Take that damn battery out.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yep. Exactly. Very true.
It's time to stop.
Yeah. Sorry, it's very dry in the portal, so we're all froggy here. But anyway, that was a hell of a discussion off that one story. But I'm not even sure how we got here.
The Coddington Fairies.
That's right, the Coddington Fairies. Yeah. Last thing I knew, I was talking about mushrooms.
And after the mushrooms, you started talking about fairies. Is there a correlation?
Hey, Taco, good to see you, brother.
Oh, Taco's here. How you doing, Taco?
Hey, Taco.
Our favorite taco.
Everybody loves a taco. That's all I know.
We're pretty close to the next break, too.
I know. We're down to about a minute.
See, now that's how this portal's supposed to roll.
That's how it usually does roll, though. I think we don't ever have to drag the show between breaks anymore. There were times in our if we go to the Wayback
chain
Machine
out and you throw them over your shoulder, you're like, oh my god, oh god, somebody say something.
Yeah. What do we talk about now? How about that weather? We can do the Paranormal Portal weather if we ever run out, Don. You can be the weather girl. I mean, guy. Sorry.
I don't know how I'd feel about that.
I don't know either, but just remember, it's for entertainment, Don. It's for the show.
I wouldn't be able to be actually on camera at the time.
Anyway.
Could you see me wearing like a bright red wig?
No, God, no. Please don't put that in my
and a
mind.
Scarf.
Please don't do that to my head.
Maybe one of those.
La 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 la. I can't hear you.
Have the stripe that come up here like this, and then they bloom like here, and
They bloom.
well, you've seen them like those. You know, it looks like a big old.
I don't want to think about you blooming, Don. I don't want you to bloom, okay? Just stop it.
I was a late bloomer.
Don't you dare to be done. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go to break, so don't go away. Again, we'll be back in just a few minutes for more of the Paranormal Portal.
Yes, yoga pants.
Oh, God.
Yes.
Stop.
Play their games. Everybody loves to place their bets. They don't understand the price I paid. They don't care to comprehend. Trace their lines upon my body, dripping scars across my heart. Raging anger pours inside me as their lies keep falling apart. Finished with my silence. I am not a stupid boy. No more breaking me with kindness. Just you dance upon my joy. Leading me with empty promise. You're just another fucking mess. Taking off the slice of my sanity, just make sure that you're well fed. I'm not wrong yet. I'm not broken yet. I'm not broken yet. I'm not broken
Mommy! Where are you? never sensed anything like it. Carol Ann is not like those she's with. They're attracted to the one thing about her that is different from themselves. Her life force. It is very strong. It gives off its own illumination. It is a light that implies life and memory of love and home and earthly pleasures. Something they desperately desire, but can't have anymore. Right now, she's the closest thing to that.
Poltergeists are usually associated with an individual. Hauntings seem to be connected with an area. A house, usually.
Poltergeist disturbances are of fairly short duration, perhaps a couple of months. Hauntings can go on for years.
And we're back, folks. Welcome back to the Paranormal Portal. 1 hour's already beyond us. It's gotten out of our grips in the past. It's history. But we're going to work on the future right now. So thank you all for being here. I'd like to see Mr. Ra Castaldo, a fellow TFR host, is in the TFR audience.
Doing, Ra?
Good to see you, Mr. Ra.
Well, Paisley's there too.
Paisley's there, absolutely. Boy Solomon, Scottish Ross, Nightshade in there too. Bam's still in there as well. So we are building up steam on TFR. That's good. Good.
Hey, we got one thumbs down.
Woo!
Oh my.
I don't know. What do you do? Everybody's got to speak their conscience, Don.
That's true.
And some people just have none. They have no conscience. Let's see. Where are we going now?
I don't know. We were on Mars talking about mushrooms.
Yes, we did it.
Started seeing fairies and then argued about Bigfoot.
I know. It was just like a whole psilocybin trip. It was. All of a sudden we were talking about naked. No, not naked, but you blooming with a wig on, you know. I don't know how we got there, but it was a hell of a journey. It was pretty much psychedelic, Don. I'm absolutely scarred from that, by the way. I'm going to be working on all kinds of meditating to get that out of my head. All right, so we got another article for you guys.
Hey, Taco, that cuff is awesome, actually. It's perfect. And yeah, I do keep it rubbed down with mink oil. Yeah. just like your baseball mitt, you know? Back in the day. Nowadays they're made out of garbage.
Save your pillow talk for later. No, it was really nice.
Yeah.
Taco's a hell of a creator, folks. You know, an Unknown also developed a bunch of the video elements we use on the show. Taco made the sign, which is behind us, illuminated Paranormal Portal sign, which is plasma cut out of a thick metal. I'm pretty sure it's bulletproof. I might have to use it if the world goes to hell. I'll wear it, wrap it around my midsection and go shopping. But yeah, it's a really beautiful piece, and it became the centerpiece for our redesign. So thank you, Taco. We appreciate all the love and support you've given us, and Unknown and all of you out there that are tuning in and checking us out. We appreciate your love and support, and please let other people know. Feel free to take these streams and put them on your social media. Let other people see what we're doing here, and because that's all I want for Christmas.
All I want for Christmas is 2 thumbs up. 2 thumbs up. 2 thumbs up.
I don't care. Just
that was Christmas like 3 years ago. It's like, can somebody just like give us the thumbs up for just for
3 years ago? We'd have like 2 likes would have been huge.
Woohoo!
Somebody noticed. But anyway, I got an article here for you guys. We're a little past that, so which is wonderful. But this is an article from unexplained-mysteries.com. It says mystery signal picked up from Proxima Centauri. I don't think this is just one of those fast radio bursts that's from a pulsar or whatever they said it was from. It says astronomers are currently investigating a signal coming from the direction of our closest neighboring star system. Ooh, that's cool. The signal, which was reportedly picked up by the Parkes telescope in Australia last year, is now being investigated by researchers from the Breakthrough Listen project. $100 million initiative dedicated to the search for evidence of intelligent extraterrestrial communications.
Thank you, Tony Stark. I mean,
Iron Man.
that's what it sounded like.
According to reports, it appears to have come from the Proxima Centauri system, the nearest star system to our own, and home to 2 planets, including one that could potentially support life, folks. It must be in the Goldilocks zone. At the moment, it remains unclear what might have produced the signal, and astronomers
Astronomers!
from Boston. Sorry, that commercial. It's your cousin from Boston. Let's see, astronomer from Boston. Sorry, it was a moment I had there. I'm better now. Astronomers have so far failed to find a conventional source. Believed to have been picked up in the 980 megahertz range, the signal is particularly tantalizing because it seems to shift in frequency in a manner consistent with the movement of a planet.
In yoga pants. Sorry.
I don't know what the hell's wrong with you. We're so broken. It's been described as the first serious candidate since the WOW signal. Wow, that must be why they called it that. Yeah. All right. Breakthrough Listen itself was launched back in 2016 and received the blessing of late physicist Professor Stephen Hawking, who described the work as it was doing as critically important. I didn't think Stephen Hawking was a big fan of aliens figuring out where we are, right? He kind of thought they were going to come in with their
Just eat us,
with their star destroyers and stormtroopers and take our lunch money.
Was that Alderaan? Take our lunch money. Beat us up, take our lunch money.
Exactly. Mankind has a deep need to explore, to learn, to know, he said at the time. It is important for us to know if we are alone in the dark. Could the Proxima Centauri signal be evidence that we are not? Very cool. I hadn't heard anything about this.
Go back to where it said the frequency again.
980 megahertz range.
Farm says 980 megahertz is cell phone frequency range 1.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Cell phone. So is
they're,
it?
They're probably pretty sure.
ET making that call finally?
Can you hear me now?
Hi, my name's Paul.
There's a starship running around with one guy going, "Can you hear me now?" Sorry. I don't know. It's cheap and easy. I just grab them as they come down. But yeah, I think that kind of stuff is cool. I hope we do figure out and find some intelligent life out there. Maybe they can help us figure this stuff out. But cool story. I like that. I like that we're continuing to find new things. It's always frustrating when that's just a pulsating, dwarf star or something like that.
Right.
It's like, damn it.
It's pulsating.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Yoga pants.
I'm ready for like flying cars and stuff.
Yeah,
Let's get the lightsabers. Come on. I'm ready for lightsabers. Let's go. But anyway, that's cool. Take it however you will. Let's cruise on back over to here until I find another fun thing to read. Oh, here's an article about the Black Knight.
Oh, sure.
You want to read about that, Don? Because I know that's
12/17. Oh, that's kind of new.
It is. It's from December 17th, actually.
So it's like 3 days ago.
Right. So is the Black Knight really an alien satellite? Now, for those of you that don't know, the Black Knight satellite is this legendary satellite that's apparently surrounding the Earth, or it's been seen forever. When was the first sighting of that, Don? Back in long time ago, right? Like hundreds of years or something?
Yeah. Well, not... Well,
All right, maybe
it's one of those things. So Nikola Tesla supposedly was in contact with it.
Nikola. No, you're thinking Ricola.
That's what I'm saying. So, but there's some people believe that it's been around since like the 1300s.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
So yeah, there was some, and it stays. I think it's in a fixed location as well, isn't it?
Oh, is it? So it doesn't actually orbit; it just kind of hangs out in one spot.
It's fixed on one of the poles.
Oh wow!
Okay. Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
So, but it's been around, and it's the one that Tesla had somehow received
signals from
it and other things like that. But NASA says it's just the thermal blanket.
Yeah, which they hadn't back in the 1300s, I'm sure.
Yeah,
That stuff fell off all the time back in those days.
You know, the Anunnaki. You know. Oh, it's a thermal blanket. We recognize it's one of ours.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It was my comforter for my bed. For years, some have speculated that this unusual piece of space junk is actually an extraterrestrial device. You've probably seen this photograph before above. I'll put it in the... Since it references it, I'll put it in the TFR chat for our TFR audience, as they are here. All right. Boom. There you go. You can see the article we're reading right now, ladies and gentlemen, at tfrlive.com/chat. You've probably seen this photograph before, a black metallic chunk of some unidentified remnant of the space industry that was captured on camera by NASA back in 1998. Officially, it's simply little more than a piece of space debris, but to many conspiracy theorists, the Black Knight is in fact an extraterrestrial satellite that has been observing our planet for years. Stories concerning the object have been retrospectively dated back as far as the 19th century to a repeating extraterrestrial radio source heard during Nikola Tesla's radio experiments. You're right, yeah. While this signal has since been attributed to a pulsar, something that, yeah, of course it was, of course, a pulsar. Something that hadn't been identified at the time, there were still many who attributed it to the Black Knight satellite. During the 20th century, speculation over possibility of an orbiting alien surveillance platform received further boost when astronaut Gordon Cooper reported seeing a UFO during his trip to space aboard the Mercury-Atlas 9 mission in 1963. There have also been reports of the U.S. Navy detecting a dark-colored spy satellite in 1960. In more recent years, it has been suggested that the object photographed in 1998 was actually a thermal blanket used to shield top-secret U.S. spy satellites from detection during the Cold War. As things stand, there's really nothing to suggest that the object is anything but space debris. However, this is unlikely to satisfy those who subscribe to the belief that it is something more. Whatever the case, it's conspiracy theory that's unlikely to disappear anytime soon.
You know, so here's the thing. The only people that can actually go out and examine the thing is a government-funded oversight agency.
Or SpaceX. They could do it.
They're government oversight, too.
Yeah, they are, but they...
Hey, we could have the TTBSA go get it.
Yeah, Tom DeLong. Yeah, go pick that up, Tom, will you? Yeah, I think it must be something. I don't know.
It's
I don't
material.
Exotic. Yeah, let's get it to the Army quick. Where everything else they discovered went.
But it's a thermal blanket. They already know. They know what it is.
Well,
they don't need a new thermal blanket.
No, they probably got more, but that is interesting. Whatever you believe, folks. I was expecting more insight into it, but then just this brief history jaunt. But it's interesting. I think it could be. Especially if it really was observed back in the 60s. When did they first do like Sputnik and stuff? Wasn't that like the 50s?
Yeah, that was 50s.
How could there be spy satellites in the 60s reported by the Navy?
Because the 40s were before the 60s.
Yeah, but wasn't Sputnik in the 50s?
Yes.
So that was the first thing
Roswell
we ever threw
was
up there.
47. We threw a lot of things up there.
Well, no, but I said there's also been reports of the U.S. Navy detecting a dark-colored spy satellite in 1960. Oh. Well, that predates the space program in large part. I mean, maybe they were throwing up spy satellites
The first person in space was Yuri Gagarin in 61. So in 63...
You say Yuri Geller?
No, sorry.
He's bending spoons up there.
He's bending spoons in space. There is no spoon.
And when they stop, their clocks from here.
That's what it is. There is no Black Knight satellite.
No, but
Yuri Gagarin.
Oh, okay. So that was about 60?
That was 61. Yeah.
Okay.
And then...
well, then maybe they were lobbing up satellites before then, spy satellites. I just thought that seemed early to me.
No.
I don't know.
No way.
Huh.
Yep.
Okay. Well, there you have it, folks. But whatever you believe, if you want to hear more about that, let us know. We'll research a lot more about the anything that we cover on the show. If you want to hear anything more about it or you'd like to hear more information, let us know. Email us at paranormalportalradio@gmail.com. What?
The unknown. Tom, he lost his mind somewhere along the way.
For sure.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that guy's.
Tom Ding Dong with the TTBSA.
Yeah. Well, we obviously have criticisms of them.
Oh, ground control to Major Tom. Yes, Titan. Thank you.
There's a lot going on, for sure. I don't.
There's the show, and then there's the sideshow. Literally.
We just don't know much about the To the Stars thing. I just think they're just flaky to me. I don't know. I just don't. I don't know. They got their hands on. I've said it before on the show. I'll say it again just for the sake of any new listeners that might be out there. So, To the Stars Academy is Luis Elizondo and Tom DeLonge of Blink 182, and they've kind of spearheaded this. Oh, let's find out more information. Let's really get together and dig into what this phenomenon is all about. And he got his hands on a lot of exotic materials that people collected. And I think one of the pieces was actually from Linda Moulton Howe.
Yes.
And in that, the To the Stars Academy was charged with finding a group to start diving into these exotic materials and finding out what they were.
So they chose?
And they chose, drum roll, the
US
Army.
military. Yes.
Military, folks.
Yes.
Yeah, they chose the
The
military.
Army.
Nice job.
We're in the Army now.
You had one
Not
job.
one plow. Yeah, I need.
You had one job, and you screwed it up for all of us.
Yeah.
So that's unfortunate that it got locked down. And maybe there was no other recourse. Maybe it was just bound to anyway. But still, to make it sound like a good idea, like, hey, we've entered into a contract with the military. It's like, well, so much for us learning
Yeah,
anything.
so much for your benevolent society, buddy.
So that's my biggest criticism of To the
Sputnik
Stars.
was launched in 57. Yes, that
57.
was Sputnik. But
So that was 3 years later. Were there already spy satellites in 3 years?
Yes.
I don't know. That just seems
Yes.
premature to me. Anyway, I don't know. I really don't know, so I'm raising probably a lot of question over nothing, but it's just curious to me. TTSA is more like BS. Thanks, Bam. I agree. TTSA staff is military intelligence and government. Well, I knew Luis Elizondo was, but he was supposed to be retired. But
yeah, the TTBSA. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I said.
yeah, exactly. Well, there you go. So that's that article. Hope you enjoyed that little jaunt into a frustrating realm of
Lack of information.
yeah, lack of information and no further information, I'm sure, coming up. This one's kind of funny. I didn't hear about these power outages, but this is a quick little article that was posted on Unexplained Mysteries.
Wait a minute. When was this? Was this last week?
Let's find out.
This is yesterday. This is from yesterday.
Well, it's posted
must-
yesterday.
So, because we had that power outage due to a squirrel.
I don't think so, but yeah, I know that I heard that.
Oh, wait, this
claim.
is in Scotland.
So this is in Scotland. Is that right?
Yeah, that's what it
Okay,
says.
Scottish village. So starlings were blamed for a mysterious power outage in Scotland, folks. It says a spate of unexplained power outages in the remote Scottish village of Ayrth has finally been solved. The peculiar mystery has left engineers at the local electricity supplier scratching their heads and had been proving to be quite a nuisance with power cuts occurring seemingly at random and for several minutes at a time, despite there being no apparent fault in the power cables. It wasn't until lead engineer Neil MacDonald went out on an evening walk to inspect the lines that he finally discovered what was causing the issue. Thousands upon thousands of starlings. Those are birds, for those of you that don't know. Grabbing his phone, he filmed huge flocks of the birds swooping across the lines, which caused them to bounce up and down, disrupting the power for brief periods of time. In all my 14 years working for SP Energy Networks, I've never seen anything like it, he said. For all the birds looked small, the sheer number of them caused the wires to bounce up and down as they danced on and off of them. There's actually 3 wires between those poles, and when they crash together, the power will go off for around 10 seconds or so each time. And that's what's been happening quite frequently, with some of these clashes causing wider damage and longer outages. Efforts are now underway to dissuade the birds from flocking near the cables.
That's flocking ridiculous.
They should just hang up signs, say, starlings, no resting here. I'll put this in, because there is a video I figure we can just watch, because it's public service announcement, I think. Let's just watch this and see what it says. I put it into TFR chat. For those of you over there, you can check it out and learn more as well. But let's watch this video. All right, I'm gonna kill Kill the sound though, because I don't want to get any. I always get hit from sound. Oh, that had a song in there, and it's look at those birds. That's a lot of birds though.
Oh my goodness!
That's pretty freaky.
It's like it just disintegrated.
Yeah, right. Look at those birds. I don't want to play the whole video because I just want to show a piece of it. But look at the weight that they have on the lines, and then boom, they're just jumping off. And look at those wires just bouncing. That's just from these little birds, just hundreds and hundreds of them. Do it again. Boom. And look at the wires. You can still see them bouncing. Yeah, that'll do it. Okay, I'm on board with this explanation completely. I think that's exactly what's happening.
Well, and that's part of the problem with the condor we were having with the condors. You know, the California condors down there they were getting down there and they were electrocuting themselves because their wingtips would touch
Both lines.
Oh,
and they just circuit it out.
Yeah.
Huh?
So and they just and that was it. You know, you got fried condor. Yeah.
Might be good.
It's a freaking vulture.
It is. They aren't a very pretty bird, but they're huge. They are huge. This I thought was interesting because, of course, well, this is even young ravens. I wanted to read this article because I thought it was really a pretty cool insight. Crows and ravens are incredibly intelligent birds, and we got about 4 minutes left, so this is about perfect. But this article on unexplained-mysteries.com says young ravens are as intelligent as adult apes. And of course, I mean, you're thinking about adult apes like gorillas. They can learn sign language. Chimpanzees can learn sign language. So these are complex, communication processes. And then, they have troubleshooting or problem-solving abilities as well.
Right.
But a young raven is considered as smart as an adult ape. So I want to read this and see what it's saying. Scientists have revealed that 4-month-old ravens possess a remarkably high level of animal intelligence. Members of the corvid family, which include ravens, crows, and jays, have long been known to possess a remarkable level of intelligence with the capacity to remember human faces, solve puzzles, navigate complex environments, and even hold funerals for their own dead.
And grudges.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. A new study has discovered that ravens in particular are so intelligent that even at 4 months old, their intellectual capabilities rival those of adult primates. The research involved conducting a number of tests to see if the birds understood concepts such as adding up numbers and whether they knew that an object still existed even when it was out of sight. For instance, to investigate whether ravens know where food is located, we hid treats under a cup and moved it quickly back and forth among other cups that were empty. And just as one does the shell game, said study co-author Miriam Sema. People get paid for doing this stuff, Don.
I know. It's ridiculous, isn't it?
A raven selected a cup by pecking or pointing at it with its beak, while a chimpanzee would have done this with their fingers. When the researchers compared the cognitive abilities of 8 hand-raised ravens, they found that the birds rivaled the results achieved by orangutans and chimpanzees. Our results suggest that ravens are not only social intellects, but also have developed sophisticated cognitive skills for dealing with the physical world, the study authors wrote. That's incredible. I mean, I've always thought these the corvid birds are incredible. They just seem smart, and I've heard stories. People like they have a bunch of crows in their yard, will throw a rock at one, and then they'll get a whole horde of them sitting at the yard just looking at the person, and it's just creeped out. There's people I've heard talk about how they can't even go in their own backyard because they accidentally killed one of them.
Oh,
and
yeah. Talk about holding the grudge.
Yeah, they will remember you, and they will remember just that person. Like that person will be the one to receive their grudge. These are intelligent animals. So yeah, it doesn't surprise me much, but I didn't realize that they would be on par with an ape. That's really incredible. There you go, folks. Just our amazing, wonderful world. Very cool. What do you think of that, Don?
I think it's very true.
I
think they like to tease. One of my dogs. And when we were living down in Coeur d'Alene for a little while, we had this kennel kind of set up, and the crows and the crows would come down and like tease my dog. Like they'd come down and land and then yap at him, and then when he would go at him, they would hop over him to the other side and chide him from the other side. It was just incredible.
Ooh.
They'd sit up there and they'd throw things at him. It was crazy.
Wow, that's really cool. Yeah, they're smart. They're smart birds for sure. We are just moments away from going to our last break of the night. Can you believe that? It's really screamed by, hasn't it?
We're 3/4 of the way through.
Huh.
Through.
3/4 of the way through. We got a half hour to go. If this is your first time at the show, please subscribe. We'd love to have you stick around, and we'd love for you to spread the word about the portal to others out there. If you know people that are into the paranormal, tell them about the Paranormal Portal.
Right.
Love
Hey,
to.
we lost the thumbs down.
Oh, they changed their
They
mind.
changed your mind. They're not so bad anyhow.
We love them. We love them so much. Absolutely. We just turned that frown upside down. So that's awesome. But anyway, folks, don't go away. We got to take a break. If you're new, that's because we're on the station networks and they got to take breaks. So we got to take them here on YouTube as well. So we'll be right back in just a couple minutes for the last half hour of our journey. Don't miss it. We're going to take attendance, I swear. And there might be a test. All right. We'll be right back.
Extendivite is more than just a heart tonic. Do you have any of these symptoms? Night cramps in the hands and feet. Your arms and legs often go to sleep. On short walks, do your legs get aches and pains? Is your memory worse than it used to be? Ankles that swell late in the day? Has your blood pressure increased lately? If you answered yes to even one of these questions, you may have early warning signs of arterial blockages. Your body is saying that it is time to take Extendivite. These are not the normal signs of aging. They are the warning signs of accompanied blocked arteries. Get your Extendivite today. Extendivite is available in capsule or liquid form for just $69.95 for a 2-month supply. To get started, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822. Or visit heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendivite.
This is iHeartRadio.
iHeartRadio.
iHeartRadio makes you want to move. When you have a great melody, song, you listen forever.
Instantly connected.
I love it when the beat goes. Did you know you can listen to True Frequency Radio on iHeartRadio? Just download the app to your smartphone or smart TV and get the best of TFR wherever you are.
iHeartRadio. I'll see you there.
Love talk radio, then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7. The best streaming talk show. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has got no fun easy. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free app from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
Is the ancient science of finding, returning, and returning articulated. Said that Dowsing was taking into Earth images, which modern science as yet does not understand.
back, ladies and gentlemen. 1/2 hour left to go. We've had a heck of a journey tonight, but we hope you've enjoyed it all the same. You've been enjoying it, Don?
Yes, it's been a beautifully.
Has it been rubbery?
Wonderful. It's been rubbery.
It's been rubbery. I think it's been fun. I have. I thought I had. Yes, I have. That's not it. Oh, man. There it is. I found an article by our very own Brent Swanser that I think will be fun to share and go through with you guys now. And, God, I hope I can do it in a half hour. His articles are really well written. They are so well done. If you ever get a chance, check out his work. It's on mysteriousuniverse.org, along with like Nick Redfern, Paul Seaburn, and a few other fantastic authors, writers, journalists. Paranormal journalists. Yeah, I like that title. And, well, you know, I mean, we know Brent Swanser. He's come to be friends of ours in the online world, and we really appreciate his friendship. And he always points out his latest articles and stuff to us, and that's really cool. He does it on his group as well, and if you want to follow his work more closely and get involved in his community, you can do so by heading over to Facebook and going to Dark League Paranormal, and make sure to join up there. It's just a great guy and a great bunch of people over there as well. Great discussions, great stuff, and on the weekends they do movie clips. It's awesome. And then that's how I know he's definitely a guy after my own heart, because the movies he posted are like, oh, I love that movie too, you know? So anyway, I'm going to read this story to you guys because it's like story time here on the portal. I like to read to you, and I hope you enjoy getting read to. All right, I'm lining it all up, folks. This is not really a visual story, so I'll just read it because it's just a narrative. But an interesting narrative all the same. Let me see where I'm at here. Okay. Yeah, this will be good. All right, says this is mysteriousuniverse.org. Brent Swanser from February 28th of 2020. The article is entitled, Some Very Bizarre Cryptid Entities Seen Only Once. They've been witnessed only one time. And I got to tell you, throughout the course of doing the show, we come up with some pretty incredible claims by people. And I don't mean incredible as in unbelievable. I just mean that what these people witness is just so far removed from the normal stuff that people normally witness when you're in terms of cryptids such as Dogman, Bigfoot, skinwalkers, etc., possibly rakes or ghouls or whatever you want to call them. But these are apparently a collection of such stories of really different things that people witnessed and only have been witnessed once. So the article begins, among some of the strangest reports of cryptids and mysterious entities are those that seem to be completely isolated events. Those with strange incidents which some startled witnesses have come across something from well beyond their understanding. Yet these entities have never been seen again, reported only the one time, only to disappear into the ether. A very weird account of something that cannot really be categorized was related on researcher Stan Gordon's website. The incident apparently happened near the town of Troy in Bradford County, Pennsylvania, where on the night of November 20th, 2011, a couple was driving along a rural stretch of road called Mud Creek Road, and their attention was caught by what they first took to be a naked man crawling across the ground in front of them. This might have been considered by most to be already odd enough as it is, but it would get stranger when they stopped the vehicle. Mm. The startled couple stopped not far away, and although they couldn't make out what many details in the glare of the headlights just yet, it was becoming apparent that this was no man. At first they could not tell much other than that it was vaguely humanoid in shape, but they got a better look at it when the creature apparently suddenly sprang up into a crouched upright position like a kangaroo, and then became quite apparent that this was not human. What they saw was roughly humanoid in form, very muscular, standing about 5 feet high, with its clawed arms held up close to the body, an oversized head reminiscent of that of a wolf, with large black eyes set within it, topped with two bat-like ears, and the whole of its body covered in dull, wrinkly, dark black skin. It then fully stood up and extended its legs to show that it was more like 8 feet tall, before lurching forward to to fall onto all fours. It was then that the creature whipped its head around and seemed to finally realize that it was being watched for the first time, upon which it displayed a look of surprise and panic, as if it had been caught doing something it was not supposed to be doing. It then took a tremendous leap, it says lead, but I think they mean leap, over a high embankment to disappear into the darkened forest. Oddly, the witnesses would make mention of the detail that as it leapt, its legs were only slightly larger than broomsticks, or about the size of a walking crane, and were very long. All in all, they had the impression that they had somehow caught it changing forms. And the man even went as far as to say that he believed that they witnessed a werewolf in the process of its transformation.
Wow.
Ooh.
Wow.
Well, obviously there's legendary precedent for the idea that there are people that transform into werewolves. There's skinwalkers, for example, that are people that apparently can transform into beings or creatures. So,
but its legs no bigger than broomsticks or a walking cane. That's incredible. That's
right.
like not big enough to hold the weight.
Right. Wow.
Much less leap over.
But that's an interesting thing. Do you think it could have been like a skinwalker that was transforming into a more of a wolf-like figure, a dog-like figure?
Their legs wouldn't get that small.
If they were stretching out but hadn't filled in yet.
Oh.
So they were stretching out for the 8-foot height. Maybe they were 5 feet. And then it was crouched at about 5 feet.
Right.
But, in like a kangaroo pose, but then it's stretched up.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. Me either. And I'm just trying to create a narrative for it. But that's really powerful. What was going on here? Who knows? If hairy werewolf monsters aren't odd enough for you, then how about a hairy little telepathic monsters? A very strange account with some other sort of humanoid comes from 1978 in Toronto, Canada. Here within the dark confines of the various networks of tunnels and caves under the sprawling metropolis, a 51-year-old man known as Ernest had a strange and frightening encounter in August of that year. The witness claims that he had been out searching the neighborhood for a missing kitten from a litter he had been raising with his wife when he had stumbled across a tunnel entrance and decided to get a flashlight and investigate where it led, perhaps to even find his missing cat in the process. He claims that he penetrated about 10 feet into the murk and suddenly came across a creature that looked somewhat like a long and thin monkey, around 3 feet in height, with large teeth and covered in gray fur. The unsettling eyes, which peered out of the darkness from deep sockets, were described as being bright orange and slanted. And to make the whole ordeal even more horrific, Ernest reported that the creature actually spoke to him.
Wow.
He would say of the odd events, "I saw a living nightmare that I will never forget. It said, 'Go away,' in a hissing voice. And then it took off down the long tunnel off to the side, and I got out of there as fast as I could. I was shaking with fear." Ernest would later grudgingly tell the Toronto Sun newspaper of his frightening experience after being encouraged by a friend to do so. And he refrained from giving his last name out of fear that he would be ridiculed. Staff from the Sun even went as far as to accompany Ernest to the location of this strange sighting in March of 1979. And they found that indeed there was the entrance to a cave at the end of a passageway between houses, which led into a narrow tunnel that dropped off into the gloom sharply and was surmised to lead to an unseen sewer system down below. When they investigated the tunnel, they did not see any strange creature, but they did find the maimed carcass of a cat half buried in the ground. When sewer officials were questioned about what Ernest had perhaps seen, an employee gave the rather ominous statement, "People who work on the surface just don't know what it's like down there. It's a whole different world. Who would have thought a few years ago that people would live in sewers, and yet that's what they found in New York a few years back. I don't know what he saw down there, but I'll tell you one thing. If we could get in there, I sure as hell wouldn't want to go down alone." Yeesh. Yeah. I can only imagine.
We've talked about that one before. I remember it.
Yes.
Yep. And that's one that just kind of creeps me out.
Right,
You know?
right. So it says the so-called Cabbagetown Tunnel Monster is truly bizarre in that no other such report like it has come in, and it's hard to say what the creature in question could possibly be, especially considering that it allegedly actually spoke. Concerning the witness himself, friends and family said that he was an honest and reliable man, not prone to making up tall tales, and the Sun reporters who interviewed him said that he seemed earnest. Wasn't his name Ernest?
Yes.
And honestly scared and reluctant to tell his tale at the time. What did he see down there, if anything? We may never know. One idea of what the Cabbagetown monster, tunnel monster could have been was not a tunnel dweller per se, but rather some cryptid from above ground, taking refuge in, or shelter within the tunnel. The region where it was sighted has long had accounts from the natives of a race of smallish, hairy humanoids that inhabited areas near waterways and were called the Memagwisi. And perhaps something like this could have found a home down in the tunnel. We'll probably never know for sure. And again, I hearken back to those videos that we showed on the show that came from a utility company in some town. I think they were in Maine, but maybe not. But they show that little robot thing that they send into the tunnels with the camera on it. And then you see that lizard thing, right, Don? Yeah, and there's a couple of them. One where it just runs by, it's coming up to a T, and something shoots by really fast that's built like a velociraptor, but it's obviously much smaller. And then there's one where it's coming up to a junction, and something's peeking out,
Right.
And looking, and then all of a sudden it quick does a whip around, and as it's whipping around, you can see a long tail is following it, and it's gone.
Right.
So,
and that is true. I mean, what kind of things are growing or living down in those kind of areas? I mean, they're we talk about like underground Seattle, and obviously, in Cabbagetown, whatever the heck that was.
Yeah.
But I mean, all over. And there are Paris. There are tunnels through Paris, the catacombs,
Scotland. Yeah.
Yes. Then the tunnels from Turkey to, wherever it was like,
right. Yeah.
There's got to be something living down there that we just don't know about, and so it's scary
See,
stuff.
And then I go to the Jurassic Park thing. It's like life's going to find a way. If there's a space that can be occupied, some life will find it and make it a home. I mean, there's just so many examples of weirdness that people find in these weird places, these out of the way places where people just don't go.
Right.
Wherever we don't go, who knows what's there? It could be anything. But let's continue on. It says, if this is Hairy Beast wasn't strange enough, then we have what has come to be known as the Octosquatch. In the summer of 1961, a 29-year-old truck driver named Archimedes Sanchez was driving along a precipitous mountain road through the Basque Mountains in Spain at around 11 p.m. along with an unnamed companion, and on their way to the town of Puerto de Barazar, they rounded a bend. Their headlights hit a bizarre and rather monstrous being standing up on an embankment nearby, which prompted the pair to stop their vehicle. When they peered through the murk ahead of them, they claimed that they saw a hairy octopus, which stood around 4 feet tall with glowing eyes and tentacle-like arms. The witness says the witnesses and the thing apparently sat there completely frozen and immobile for several minutes, both parties probably just as startled and scared as the other, before Sanchez snapped out of it and slammed the accelerator, which caused the weird apparition to scurry backwards away from the threat. After which Sanchez backed up and tried again. He's trying to hit it, apparently intent on running it over. Interestingly, the otherworldly intruder refused to take off into the night, instead always just managing to avoid being run over, as if it were all a game. Finally, the two men, neither who were willing to step out of the vehicle to investigate, drove off to leave the being behind, never to be seen again. That would be horrible.
Yes.
Do you think that could be extraterrestrial then? I mean, something like that?
The the octopus in general is so alien.
Yes. Yeah.
To the world to begin with, the Earth.
Just
to
about as
Earth.
alien as we are to it. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like it would not surprise me if there's a race of octopus.
Octo squatches.
Well, I don't know about squatches, but hairy octopuses is kind of an odd thing to think about. But
right.
It wouldn't surprise me if it wasn't some kind of alien something or other.
Right. No, I think so.
What's weirder than 2020 anyhow?
Octo squatches is right up there. What in the world was this thing? Continuing road oddities is another case reported to Cryptozoology News by a taxi cab dispatcher named Edward Zayas, who was on the evening of June 3rd, 2018, says one of his drivers had been driving a passenger home and had his bizarre encounter as he had been driving through Elizabethtown, Tennessee. He says that his driver had not seen the creature, but that the passenger had witnessed a kangaroo-like beast running along on its hind legs, and the report says of the incident, the female passenger in his cab asked upon passing the spot where the car had swerved if the driver had seen, quote, it. When the driver told her he had not, she described the creature as something about 2 feet tall, running at a high rate of speed across the road on only its hind legs, and that had an overall body shape of a kangaroo. She said the creature was running towards the woods. To the best of my knowledge and research, this is the first sight of anything like this in or around this area of Tennessee. There have, however, been other sightings of cryptids, ranging from the Birdman of Hampton to the Tennessee Wildman, and even several possible Sasquatch sightings, including a possible winged Bigfoot encounter. Bat Squatch. Oh, Bat Squatch. Quite strange to be sure, but another report is maybe even weirder, describing what seems to be some sort of reptilian humanoid. In 1954, there was a report from a man who says that at the time he had been working with the U.S. naval engineers at Zaragoza Air Base near Zaragoza, Spain, as a contractor refurbishing the NATO base. It was his first time in Spain, and at one point, he took some of his off time to visit a historical monastery called the Monasterio de Piedra, near the rural town of Nuevalos. Nuevalos? Okay. He would meet up with a woman who offered to guide him around the area, and they set off on a hot August day. With the scenery providing so much to be enchanted, or to be so enchanting that the witness decided to stay another day, checking himself into a local inn. That evening, he decided to take a stroll around his rustic inn and its adjacent vineyard, finding his way down to a nearby stream with only a flashlight and the moon to light the way, where he saw something run through the water around 50 feet away. Oh, there's kind of a depiction of it. Looks like a lizard man. Kind of like a Sleestack, Don.
Sleestack.
Yeah, like they hissed all the time, didn't they? He couldn't make out what the figure was at first, but sort of wrote it off as maybe an animal. But as he continued on the way, he began to hear a strange sound emanating from the dark, which is described as sounding like a loud, guttural yak, yak, yak. Sounds like one of my exes. Sorry. He climbed up over some rocks, trying to figure out where the otherworld sound was coming from, and says he came across an opening in the rock face that held within a grotto about 15 feet deep. Bless you. And littered with the bones of small animals. Bless you again. Which took on a rather sinister ambience and the dancing beam of his flashlight. He figured that it was probably the den of a fox or some other predator, and was on his way again, and this would be where it all gets quite bizarre indeed. He says of what would transpire, I continued on the trail until I heard the yak, yak, yak sound again, and it was very close. I instantly stopped walking and started searching around me with the flashlight. Just then, some gravel landed on me, and the loud yak, yak, yak sound was coming from above me. I quickly looked up and pointed the flashlight, and there was a creature standing on a small ledge about 15 feet away, staring at me with yellow eyes reflecting back. It was screaming, yak, 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 in a quick, constant rhythm. And this was the most ghastly thing I've ever witnessed. It was standing on 2 legs and was about 4 to 5 feet tall. It was dark in color and had arms like a human. The face looked like that of a lizard, resembling that of an iguana, and after a few seconds it leaped off the ledge onto the trail, swiftly running on 2 legs in the opposite direction. It was then that I noticed it had a long tail as it moved away from me. I quickly made my way back to the inn and directly to my room. I laid in bed thinking about this creature the entire night. I was terrified to look out my window, fearing that it followed me back to the inn, and early in the morning, I checked out and drove back to Zaragoza. I have no proof to my experience other than my word, but I now believe this was a reptilian creature.
No, it wasn't. It was the lady that took him around.
Ooh.
She was...
That's an interesting
brown
twist.
chicken, brown cow. How you like me now? Yuck, 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 yuck.
That's so disturbing.
In yoga pants.
Oh, God, no. That's what he gets for chasing that tail.
Oh, God. But no, isn't that, I mean, come on. She just left him alone. She says, oh, it was great. Thanks for, letting me show you around. And, you still have both your kidneys,
Yeah.
That's what I thought I was going. I was like, if you want to lose a kidney, this is the good way to do it.
Yeah, that's how it happens. Adding up to all this bizarreness is what can only be described as some sort of vegetable-like humans, Don.
Huh?
Vegetable humanoids. To all you vegans out there, pay attention. You might be eating one of their relatives.
All the fun guys.
Certainly one of the most downright bizarre cases comes from the U.S. state of West Virginia, where in July of 1968, a local man by the name of Jennings Frederick was out bow hunting in the rural backwoods just outside of Fairmont, West Virginia.
Did they get his name backwards?
I don't know.
Jennings Frederick. Wouldn't it be Frederick Jennings? Wouldn't that make
I don't know.
more sense?
I knew a family that last name was Frederick back in Minnesota.
Well, that's fine, but I mean, Frederick Jennings sounds a lot.
It has 2 last names.
Whatever.
Must be really trustworthy.
Wow.
At some point, he allegedly heard a high-pitched, unearthly sound that he would describe as sounding like a recording running at exaggerated speed. Curious, Jennings searched about for the origin of this surreal noise, and this was when he would come across a very strange sight indeed. There in the brush stood a 7-foot-tall semi-humanoid entity with an exceedingly thin, almost skeletal frame, long ears, and stalk-like arms that were almost like tendrils, and which ended in slender 7-inch-long fingers.
Wow.
Tipped with some sort of needles or thorns, as well as suction cups.
Huh.
The whole of this anomalous creature was described as green and very plant-like in nature, as if it were part animal and part plant. The whole time Frederick watched it, that incessant chattering sound reverberated around him, and he suddenly realized that he could make out words within the alien noise, like glimpses of meaning from white noise, which he took to say, "You need not fear me. I wish to communicate. I come as a friend. We know of you all. I come in peace. I wish medical assistance. I need your help."
Why does he sound?
He sounds just the way
Russian.
I need your help, comrade. Because it's always the Russians, Don. Have you been watching the news? There's a depiction of it. That's pretty interesting.
Watch out for the huge celery.
I better put it over in, because I don't know if I'm going to get a chance to finish this article or not, but this is the article we've been reading for those of you on TFR. Yeah, we're probably not going to make it. I only got 2 minutes left. But,
no.
As Frederick stood there wide-mouthed in bewilderment, the mysterious being purportedly suddenly lashed out with one of its stalk-like arms at blinding speed to wrap him in an iron grip. Yeah, there's no harm meant there. The needles or thorns on his fingers then apparently pierced the startled man's skin and began to draw blood. Wow. But rather than the pain, he found himself drawn to the thing's eyes, which seemed to rapidly switch back and forth from red to yellow in a hypnotizing, oscillating cycle that held him in thrall and dulled his senses. After about 2 minutes of this, the otherworldly plants monster reportedly let him go and took off in a sprint up a nearby embankment in great 25-foot long bounds.
Wow.
Followed shortly after by a deep thrumming noise that Frederick would later speculate to have been the sound of the creature's spaceship.
Ah!
For years, Frederick kept this undoubtedly absurd-sounding story to himself, out of fear of ridicule, but in 1976 he would relate it to the paranormal researcher Gray Barker, who would then include it in his newsletter. The story would be brought to even greater attention when it was mentioned in the late Brad Steiger's 1978 book, Alien Meetings. Was this an alien, some sort of cryptid, or what? whatever it was, the Vegetable Man of West Virginia is certainly one of the more bizarre encounters on record.
Was he being stalked?
Oh, boof. Yep. Give him a rim shot. Nice job. That was very clever.
Means something different where I'm from.
I don't want to hear that version. Anyway, folks, that's going to wrap it up for us. That's all the time we have
Teespring,
tonight.
Xmas 2020.
Yep, check out Teespring with Xmas 2020 for the coupon code. Save some money. We love you all. Bunch. Anything, Don, quickly?
Paisley Wild next.
Paisley Wild coming up next, guys. Love you all. Be good, be kind, be nice. Take care of each other. Help each other out. Find the magic in every day and laugh. Damn it. All right, love you guys. Have a great night. I'll be back tomorrow night with the Night Terrors. Until then, sweet dreams.
Good